Hey everyone, and welcome to a Valheim tier list. Today I'll be ranking these 7 biomes that are currently in the game. Now before I get started, keep in mind that these are my opinions. You may agree, you may not, but feel free to leave your thoughts in your own tier list down in the comments below. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now I am ranking these biomes mostly on aesthetics and overall experience. And we're going to start with the Meadows biome, of course. Now for me, the Meadows biome is a strong A tier. It's not the best biome in the game, as we'll see shortly, but it is a wonderful place to be. It's peaceful, it's safe. Sometimes it feels a little happy-go-lucky, sunshine, flowers, and rainbows. But it's just a nice place to spend some time in and not have to worry about constantly dying like most of the rest of the biomes. I do tend to build my bases in the Meadows because, again, it is very safe, so I spend a lot of time here. Overall, a very solid biome. Next up is the Black Forest. Now the Black Forest is going straight to the S tier. There is no question about this in my mind. It's dark, it's broody, and I love dark and broody. The pine trees are a great touch. I really like pine trees in real life, so having them in the biome around my base in like a dark forest feels wonderful to me. Especially if you can get like a log cabin going on or just some really kind of like nice woody base. So top notch. Best biome in the game, hands down if you ask me. Third up is the ocean. And the ocean is interesting, mainly because it's empty. There's nothing there. There's water and there are sea serpents. And while sailing on the water is a really fun experience in the beginning for a short period of time, right? The water is really fun to watch the boat go over, and when a storm comes in, it feels really cool and really epic. The music is amazing. I mean, top notch music for sure. But at the end of the day, it's just empty. If you don't find one of the giant turtles or whatever they're called, I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, or a sea serpent, you're just sailing until you get to where you're going. Leviathans, that's the name of the giant turtles. And for that, so the ocean's going to go into a C tier for me. It's got potential to be a really fun place when they add more to it, but right now it's just kind of meh. The swamp tier. What can I say here? It's dark, it's broody, and as I said earlier, I love dark and broody, but this is too much. It's too dark, too broody, too edgy, and for that it's going straight in the F tier. And you know what? F tier isn't enough. We're gonna change this to the swamp tier because, again, worst biome in the game by far, if you ask me. It's wet all the time. It's just no fun trekking through the swamps because there's water everywhere. It reminds me of that meme from back in the day when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, like those Pokemon games came out. Everyone was like 7.8 out of 10, too much water. That's this. Except this isn't a 7.8 out of 10 experience. It's a 1.8 out of 10 experience. So, yeah, swamp tier it is. The mountains. Now, the mountains are kind of a love-hate relationship for me. I love the snow. I love the ambience. I love building like a giant snow-covered castle up in the mountains and just trekking around. It feels really awesome during the day. During the night, it's a whole different story when there's 2-star wolves roaming around that can kill you very easily, very quickly. There's werewolves that spawn in that will just jump and lunge at you all the time. And then you throw in the rest of the mobs that are in there, like the drakes and the golems and everything, and there's just not a lot to love about the nighttime up in the mountains. And for that, it's going to get a B tier. Alright, up next is the plains biome. And the plains is a very interesting place. The word I would use here is inviting. It's a very inviting place. Maybe too inviting. Right? It feels warm. It feels like it pulls you in. Like, come on, come visit me. And the first time I saw this biome in game a couple years ago, that's exactly what happened. I saw it and I was like, man, I want to go into this place. Right? I've been trekking around in the swamp and I saw this lovely, like shiny, like sun-filled place with warm colors, and I was like, I'm going to go in there. So it pulls you in. Right, it invites you to come over, and then it just murders you with mosquitoes. That's the experience. And that's exactly what happened to me the first time I went in there. I got into a death loop. But overall, it's a really fun place to be. If you can survive the constant threats of death. It's just a great vibe. It's a great place to build a base, which is exactly what I'll be doing in the Legend of Grey series eventually. So it's going in the S tier. It's not quite on the same level as the Black Forest, but it's definitely a strong S tier biome. And that brings us to the Mistlands. Now the Mistlands is also interesting, but maybe not in the most positive way. It's very different, right? It's got new mechanics with the wisp light and the mist and all these other kind of things, which are really cool. But this biome is awful to traverse. It's awful to spend a lot of time in. Usually when I go in, I want to just get my work done, get out of there, and never come back. And as far as ranking the aesthetics and like the overall experience and vibe of the biome goes, you can't even see most of the biome most of the time. So it's kind of hard to rank the aesthetic whenever everything's just covered by a mist and you see a small snippet of it the entire time. I think, it's got really cool things in it. There's some really cool blocks that you can build by getting the materials there. There's a lot of positives, but there are a lot of negatives. And for that, it's going to go into the C tier. Could potentially be a D tier, but I think a low C tier probably feels very fitting. So there it is, everyone. That is my tier list for the 7 biomes in Valheim right now. Of course, the Ashlands is coming out soon, and it's looking like a pretty good time. I'm thinking Ashlands might be like an A or B tier kind of biome, but we'll have to see what it looks like when it comes out. As I said, don't forget to comment down below with your thoughts, your opinions, whatever it might be. Give me your own tier list. I'd be very interested to see how everyone else's tier list looks and see what other people like, because obviously people are different. I know people who love building in the swamp for some reason, but there are people like that, I swear. But anyways, everyone, that is it for today. That is the end of the video. I'll catch you all in the next one coming out very soon. Thank you, and bye.